BCC me BBC cry the paper bremi privatization committee. On where we had the report.
Yeah, I'm the report na come.
Obi am frɛ me.
And that's what frɛ Obi.
And I was invited.
Me Obi am frɛ me catch
to come and give your opinion.
Of course.
As
immediate pass.
Now, Omu friendly former minister for energy. Omu friendly.
I don't know.
Omu friendly any friends say former MD. And so I mean, and no kodanche. Omo bubo napodi afenyo market. Omunyai.
Hold me I look at them.
Some politicians.
Omunyai about container sem no.
MD.
Omu hu nimu baby ah. That no bubo mudi.
MD what we are remember.
Ultimate responsibility.
Limited liability company ultimate responsibility.
MD Pacho and fan to what it but what about ambush also says please. To what? Let me chance Naponi afenyo crowd. Kick them out of the equation. Yeah. They are not part. It's
the report doesn't mention them.
Okay, major.
The report doesn't mention them.
Outside what the report, which me can be because we dare copy. No doubt with that.
Sure.
And I remember siding with you. Say, many did me. And can you about what tonight? As much as I don't know about for us. Because see, what's the minister say? Najuma power, you know. All money, papa, because I just see a corner, could see it. Number 6, John Jinapor, Abasu. Abasu body, and say.
And I think for him, even a former board member of ECG, a former deputy minister of power with responsibility over ECG, and an Owabe minister of energy. He is probably the best placed to oversee this thing.
PPA Act in the buy and Ayeka ECG. No, your board member. No, or your board member. Only the Omomu. Almost much letter call said they are seeking what clarity. What you say, agrono,
okay.
So we mamika say bintia mamika dintia menam because ECG staff be brain na frame entra menam
Oma Fro said
we will crowd here do that to a papa to say afro
ona onkasa we my min ko baby am okrum ha mi jae adwuma yi kokonsa bebre ba say we dwane na wayesi no kranya mi nim krum ha na me wo min ko baby
yes
a yaw ana yawa ha misisia de committee e de ayemi.
Were you spoken to as part of investigations?
Obia mfremi letter bia mame ho
committee na mfremi
no I'm saying that for a fact. Say me wo Ghana kroma.
But the committee spoke to directors.
Yes, of course.
That's and you were not part. Are you sure?
Obia, I am. I say maybe me. Busumu ewumu and I mami wu 19th April. Me nye mami nka say me mami swear by me mami awaka baby. Mr. Hwe committee bia mfremi. Ka committee ni fremi anka unia me yi me yem because Ghana na me be so ye. Me ye adwuma for 2 years and 4 months. My record edaho. The company hasn't seen this kind of growth in 2 years and 4 months.
Yeah, but that record flies in the face of the revelations
by the committee.
In this
so that is why what were they supposed to do? And your friend
are you sure they said he was not contacted?
Almost contacted directors.
I wasn't.
But on no say but the truth of the matter.
But Yabomi Dean will report num. Me na me catch row. Who can full report? No. Who can executive summary? Maybe na can be na Medina Betra no. Who can executive summary? Yabomi Dean will report num.
Let's check it.
Yeah, but Omo Dean will report him in summer. Omo kafa wo hono. Are they not true?
Okay. I'm tempted to respond. But Sebi, Nasisi and Assembly a free menu.
Yes.
We are now in the court of public opinion. I mean, because there are very, very, very possible answers to all of this. For share, you started program you guys some time ago. Me by na around them watch ECG, a loss reduction project. Over 6 to 7 companies are setting up factories for Krum Hasi. It was all about the revenue drive. You know also that meters have an expiry date. How can you ask people to manufacture meters and not have the requisite materials to install them? For another key issue that has to I was here and say Nkrofoi is setting up some factories. Say omo hwe una oni omo akasa and as you see my revenue cost and I can say so who say meters and we had an ambitious drive, a very, very ambitious drive. Say you're replacing almost 6 million meters. Okay, mass meter replacement. Idea bakwa mechanism management on a situation be I do baba be 2 million and I'll be there and I'll take it situation.
Yes.
Mike Tyson will baby say you always have a plan when you enter a ring until you are hit on the nose. Obi abo hwe so that when it start to say wasu nyina what ye basa me body me bisa say sisi a me pie free I say no be there dey bo me trima and then the committee
no, but the committee about a conclusion based on something. Number one,
Obi.
No, Council, I think we have to take it one after the other.
Ossi committee ejuma woye no, it is not the end essentially, and that some 3-member committee has been established to get to the bottom of it. What may nya botar ni yenwie na so be no about fuma. At the conclusion of all that, then we can ask the questions. It's masre. Na crucifixion na the haste. Eji, don't be under pressure. If you follow the hawks, your hard-earned reputation and track record will be sacrificed on the altar of pandering to public pressure or your party hawks on pressure. And yeah, by all means, do your work. No issues. But from where I sit, I'm almost certain that at the end of the day, all the containers are ECG we import should be accounted for, and they should be able to. When the right people are engaged, the right questions are asked, the right audits are made, we should be able to account for all the containers. May to me account for no. Na say that was who be what Chinese for one warehouses, who be what India for one plant. If obi no turn him on, certainly let's hold them to account. But I think that the 1,300 missing containers, committee no umbre. Final interim report today.
Interim report was
I find out. I won't aid it up. It tells you that they probably were under some time constraint to finish, because otherwise, with the caliber of people on the committee, you would have expected that the final report would be a final report, an interim report would be an interim report. There certainly will not be a final interim report. I really don't want the Yabama, but of course, consistent with the Nankasi in nature, you be reduced to MPP NDC. For all you know, political actors may not even be aware. Of course, if they are not aware, then we are containers are or ECG property. Question that arises as to one supervisory ability. So you can question them. I don't have a problem at all. But let's wait. Now you make conclusive findings and sana without
that's fine.
The needless because
we called for million, but I don't put the president refer in the Facebook post and say my bastards are cocaine. In the 350 million, the only 120 million. Also you support say please further in better particulars.
MP and I'll be what you want. Do you understand? These are agencies of government.
Yes.
Agencies were ministers, some of whom are your colleagues in parliament. if you want information on anything, there's that proximity. To me, fundamental information before you go beyond that line.
Okay.
The fact that an aircraft lands in this country means it's carrying gold. I say gold, cocaine. Is that the logic?
But that was not how he put it.
What else? What can I say?
On my
press conference.
Intel, I'm more sure.
We'll take press conference.
Intel, I'm what that's a new woman.
Intel, or no
MPs, Munya Intel.
Everyone, that is why he's been as you can say. You see, these are the minority seems to have, developed a certain. They want to engage government. What you say? Like every day they want to put government
on it toes.
Not like unnecessary pressure to derail government from its own attention.
Okay.
What you say? So and then we be a conference, graphic one, or we are a conference at 5 times. So the next day, another newspaper. Then we keep turning back and forth. What is that?
But sir, in this specific press conference, for the first time, you have the number one gentleman responding.
I am appalled by that. Personally, I am so appalled. Please, that you engage 4 agencies on the score of suspicion. 4 agencies on the score of suspicion, no substantiation, nothing.
So I say he should cooperate with them.
Please,
for them to do
it's a waste of taxpayers' money on the score of the author of suspicion. What evidence did he adduce? What evidence? Tell me, what evidence did he adduce? Speculation, talk. No, your friend is saying the only thing that plain be see from.
Yes.
Plain see from one. Now cocaine womb. Is that the logic? Plain be see from the 2 year into cocaine. Any they buy. What kind of logic is this? Plain be see from ham the top petrol. Plain be see from as a engine fault and now BB. Please, what is this infantile argument?
And do you think the president shouldn't have responded at all?
And I mean, just said he could have used even the interior minister or even the defense minister, because who now your ranking member for they can give you so-called intel now. Who can break down now? Who say me go to asemesi? Wait, me bisa and almost say. You are not suspect. And everybody should check up, as Joy FM did the story on it. Here we are sitting here, talk Metro did it. Just because one person says I suspect. No, and then all of us check up.
But you should know, sir, if it follows 2 busts in the month of February.
Yes.
Baku $350 million, Baku $150 million.
Are you telling me?
Say it follows Ghana, then everybody will be worried.
Bust now, Ghana.
Yes.
Yes. Do you know when the vessel set sail?
No.
No. Do you know when the vessel set sail?
No. No.
You know vessels, number of weeks are immediate from place to place and all of that. Do you know where it's coming from? Who and who are behind it and all of that? These are security investigations. And a buy and a bust. A year bust so young Kataso. It was an open year.
Yes.
All of us saw the parcels and everything. And you are sitting there thinking, say, because you're busted, your friend is like, do you know how many times? Can you imagine how many times these things have been coming in before Yachiba? Can you fathom? And you never, through your 8 years, it
can also be say Biama.
Oh, please. One our kind of point, investigations. And the reason they did not bust it at the port, because we needed to know more than just busting it at the port.
Well, as my fellow panelists have said, and I wholly agree, leadership is critical. to this fight against corruption. Certainly, if the Public Accounts Committee is demanding money for people who are appearing before that committee, then that is something that has to be seriously looked at. And, you know, just briefly talking about Parliament, even the process for electing our MPs is problematic, you know, and we all know the allegations of corruption there. You know, people have been forced to buy their seats, so when they get into Parliament, they feel they have to find a way to make up for the monies they've borrowed, etc., etc. We have had successive leaders talk about rooting out corruption. We have all the laws beautifully written, and the problem has always been whether we are practicing what we are preaching, whether we are walking the talk, because as for the talking, we all talk very well. So I really believe that we need to go beyond that. We need to start taking proper actions to really strengthen our institutions beyond just the rhetoric. You know, when I was growing up as a child, process was respected. So if someone was wealthy, everyone was interested in how they acquired that wealth before deciding whether they deserve to be respected or not. Now, it's the other way around. People look at the money and then they give instant respect based on the money, irrespective of the process for achieving that wealth. And so, I mean, that has to be stopped because it's affecting every facet of our society, and it's not a good example for our youth. Because there are people coming out of university and expecting to have a $200,000 four-wheel drive and a house in Trasacco or airport or wherever, etc., and they would do anything to achieve that. And so if such a person finds themselves in a position, in occupying a public position, and it's not far-fetched, we have people occupying some of these positions who really have no business being there. They just put their hands in the kitty and they take whatever they feel they need to take to enrich themselves, and there are really no consequences. And that's the problem. There has to be consequences. There have to be consequences for this. People have to know that it's a zero tolerance zone. Corruption has to be a zero tolerance zone with real consequences, with shaming, you know, naming and shaming and proper punishment.
Interestingly, the man under whom you served, President Kufuor, he introduced the term zero tolerance for corruption.
Yes.
Later, he would tell us corruption has been with us since the days of Adam. It's well, interesting, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, I don't think any society can completely eradicate corruption. But we have to get it down to a level which will allow development to go on. It has to be a high-risk, low-reward activity.
Right.
Right now, it's not perceived as such.
Okay.